Hey there, welcome to Rise Up Namibia. So on screen, we have the objectives and the lesson. So without further ado, let's dive into the objectives. For this video, we're going to be looking at the conversion of binary to decimal numbers. Now that we are done with the objectives, let's take a look at the lesson. So get your pens and your notebooks ready. So what do you do when you're asked to convert each of the following binary numbers to decimal numbers? Now here, we have A, B, C, D, and E. So let's start with A. Now what you do is, for A, you have this number 1001. Start on the right hand side, counting, okay? So when we count, we start with 0. So we count 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? Now in the binary number, which is this one in white, only focus on the number where there is a 1, okay? Focus only on the ones, ignore the zeros. So let's start here. The first one is a 1, so we write down that 1, multiplied by 2, and then you take the number that is on top. In this case, there is a 3, so we put that 3 on top here. Then we add. Then we see where else is there a 1 over here. So we add that 1, multiplied by 2, and then we check what number is on top, 0. So again here, we put the 0 on top, okay? Now if you work this out, this will give you 8 plus 1, okay? Because everything or anything raised to the power 0 is just 1. So 8 plus 1, that will give you 9. So this number, which is 1001 in binary, is equals to 9 in the decimal number system. Okay? How about B? Let's do B over here. So again, you start counting from the right hand side on top, starting with 0. So we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now once you are done counting on top there, you focus only on the ones, ignore the zeros. So the first one is a 1, we write down that 1, multiply it by 2, and then check what number is on top of that 1. It's a 7, so we write down a 7 on top. So the number here is a 0, so ignore that 0, we move on to the 1 over here. So we add and then we write 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power what? To the power 5, because on top here there is a 5. Okay, where else is there a 1? So this is a 0, we ignore it, and then we move on to here. Plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power what? To the power 3. Okay, so we write down the 3. Then again we add. Now here there is a 0, we ignore this 0, we also ignore this 0, and then we have a 1 over here. So we write down that 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 0. Now if we work this out on our calculator, we have 128 plus 32 plus 8 plus 1. Okay, so if we add this, it gives us 169. So this binary number, which is for B, which is 10101001, is equals to 169 in the decimal number system. Okay, now if you're finding this video helpful so far, please do support the channel by giving us a huge thumbs up and by subscribing. Now I want you to pause the video and try out C, D, and E before I show you the correct answers. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, so for C, we have this binary number. So we do the same exact thing. We start counting from the right hand side on top, starting with 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then we only focus where we see a 1 in the binary number. So the first one is a 1, we write that 1 down, multiplied by 2, raised to the power what? We check on top, 8. Plus, where else is there a 1? So here it's a lot of zeros, here is another 1. So we write down that 1, multiplied by 2, raised to the power 3. This one is actually an easy one. So if you work that out, it will give you 256 plus 8, which if you add will give you 264. So that 264 is your final answer. So for C, that's your final answer. How about for D? Let's quickly erase here and write D. So you do the same exact thing. Start with 0, counting from the right hand side on top. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you focus only where you see ones. Okay? So the first one is a 1. You write it down, multiplied by 2, raised to the power 9. Plus another 1 over here, multiplied by 2, raised to the power 8. Now here is a 0 and another 0. We ignore that. We encounter a 1 here, so we write that 1 down, multiplied by 2, raised to the power 5. Plus, we have another 1 over here, 1 multiplied by 2, raised to the power what? 3. Then where else is there another 1? The next one is also a 1, so we write that plus 1 multiplied by 2, raised to the power what? To the power 2. Then we have another 1 over here, so it will be plus 1 multiplied by 2, raised to the power 0. Okay, now if you work them out, you get 512 plus 256 plus 32 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. If you add all of them, you get 813, which is our final answer for D. Okay, so for this binary number in the decimal number system, it's 813. How about for E? Now for E, we do the same exact thing. We start counting from the right hand side on top, starting with 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And focus where you see ones. Okay, so the first one is a 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 9 plus, where else do we see a 1? Here. So we say 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 7 plus, where do we see the 1? Here. So we say 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 5 plus, we ignore the 0, we come to 1 over here. So we write that 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power what? 3. Okay, plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 0. Okay, so let's work them out. We get 512 plus 128 plus 32 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, now if you add all of them over here, what answer do you get? We get a 687, and that's our final answer for E. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe, turn on that notification button to be the first to see the next upload. Share with friends, family and classmates. And remember, together we rise to higher heights, apart we all stay behind. Cheers.